Hello guys, in today's video I'm going to go through some methods to solve quadratic equations for 2.1 at Excel A-Level Maths, Year 1. So there are multiple ways to solve quadratic equations. So the first one is factorizing. So factorizing basically is when you split a quadratic into two smaller sections essentially, and when you multiply them out you get this. So basically, how would we solve the quadratic equation? So basically, what we need to do is we need to look at the number here without any x's, so 10, right? And then think about the factors. So we have 2 and we have 5, or 1 and 10. And basically the trick is we need to look at the number before the x. Which numbers add or minus to that, basically. And the 2 and the 5 add up to 7, right? 1 and 10 don't, they add up to 11. Or if we minus them, we get minus 9 or 9. But we can never get 7. So 2 and 5 will be what we're going to use. Basically, and what we do to factorize is we put two brackets, I have two brackets, put x here, and then the numbers. Right. Okay, and then when obviously you multiply them out, so do x squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10, we get x squared plus 7x plus 10, exactly what we wanted here. And now all we need to do is basically, because we're trying to solve this, we want to find what x is. So basically the way to do this is we can just directly now say what the value of x is. It's not 5 and it's not 2, unfortunately. It's not that easy. We have to take the negative of it always. So we get minus 2 and minus 5. The way to think about that is that basically think of this as equal to 0. It wouldn't be 5 in that case, would it? Because 5 plus 5 is 10. It would be minus 5 because minus 5 plus 5 is 0. So I know it might look a bit weird, but that's a 2 there. Minus 2 and minus 5. Those are the answers. So the second way we can do this is to just, well, I would say completing the square, but in this case you don't need to complete the square in this case. So if we're trying to find x, so we're trying to isolate x somehow. So right now we've got x minus 7, which is all squared, is equal to 36. So we somehow want to get rid of this square to make its life easier. So how to get rid of the squared? Square root, both sides. You get x minus 7 is equal to plus or minus 6. Now be careful here. The square root of 36 can be either plus or minus root 6, because minus root 6 times minus root 6 is 36, right? Because if the minus multiplied by a minus, we always get a positive, yeah? And also, obviously, it could be a plus as well, because 6 times 6 is 36. So the way we can write it is plus or minus 6. And now, all we need to do now is say, move the 7 over, do 7 plus or minus 6. And of course, we actually know, so what's 7 plus 6? That's 13. Or, x equals 7 minus 6, which is just 1. So there we go, there's our answers. Third other question, 5x plus 3 equals 3x plus 7. Now we've got the opposite problem to here, we've got a square root. So how do we get rid of the square root? We square both sides. So, square both sides. So we get 5x times 5x, which is 25x squared, and then 5x times 3, so just imagine this, it would be, if there's another 5x plus 3 here, it'd be 5x times 3, and then 3 times 5x, so we get 2 of the same thing essentially. So it'd be plus 30x plus 9, yeah, and then the 3x plus 7, the square root, would all cancel when you square it, so you just get 3x plus 7 on its own. Now, just to solve it, we can move the 3x plus 7 onto the other side. Basically, we want to get all the x's on one side, essentially, right? That's why we're doing that. Get 25x squared. And then we do 30 minus 3x, which is just plus 27x, yeah? 7x. And then we do 9 minus 7, which is 2. 2 equals 0. Now this is the hard one where we have a number that's not 1 as the a term. The way to think about this, so we have 1, 2, right? There's the only factors because it's a prime number, so it's 1 and 2. We know we have to use 1 and 2. Think about, okay, so the way to do this is we have 25, right? So we can have 5 and 5. So if we did 5 times 1 and 5 times 2, that would not give us 27, so it can't be 5 and 5. Basically, we can split this up into different things. It could be 5, but, so we, instead of using 25, we could have used 5x, and then that would have given us 25x squared still, right? And we have to look at trying to multiply one of these by the 5, or the 25 in this case. It would be 25 in this case. So we did 1 multiplied by 25, you get 25. 25 plus 2 is 27. So there we go, we found it. So we do, we write the 25x here. And then we have the x here. And then we have the plus 1 and the plus 2. Now if one of the numbers has been multiplied, for example the 25, we put it always in the other bracket. Don't put it in the same bracket. And now we just have to apply the same rules here. Do x is equal to, now we do the same thing as here, we do say minus 2, but now we have to divide by 25. So always divide by the number before the x. Obviously in this term the number before the x is 1, so you don't have to put it, it doesn't matter. And then this one has no number, so it's just the x is minus 1. And there we have it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.